So where does it say in the Torah that we have to put kippah for men? And if I'm not religious, should I put a kippah on? Two questions. Gemara Masechet Shabbat says that one of the Tanaim, his mom wanted him to learn that fear of Hashem is not something that's a suggestion. It's not an advice. It's an obligation. And she wanted him to have a constant reminder that he needs to fear Hashem. So she said, you cover your hair, cover your head, in order to remind yourself constantly that there's something above you. That's one of the many sources that we see in the oral Torah, that a person needs to constantly be reminded that they are under Hashem in order to fear Him. And from there, many of the Chachamim use this as the primary source for where we learn to cover our head. It's not a biblical mitzvah like Shabbat or like Kashrut or anything like that. It's a rabbinical mitzvah, but nonetheless, it has a lot of sources in the Torah that tell us that this has very big significance. Now, this leads us to the next question: is if I'm not religious, does that mean that I should wear it or shouldn't wear it? Well, that all depends. How many people here want to go to Gehenom? Raise your hand. How many people here want to go to heaven forever? Raise your hand. Baruch Hashem, you guys are still normal. So, in order to go to heaven, Ishtabach Shemo La'ad, and be walking with a Kadosh Baruch Hu, one of the obligations is to follow what He says. To follow what He says. Meaning, it's not a matter of being religious or not religious. That's just simply the way you could describe certain things. If you want to go to heaven, there's only one ticket. That means you have to follow what Hashem says. You can call it religious, you can call it Pikachu, you can call it math and science, you can call it whatever you want. We call it being observant of what Hashem says. If you're observant with what Hashem says, you will go to heaven forever. If you're not, you have a very serious permanent problem. Very serious permanent problem. So, if a person is not ready yet to follow everything because he still or she still thinks she has an option. Like some people think like, oh, maybe I'm not ready to keep all of Shabbat, but I'll keep half of Shabbat. I'll keep half of Shabbat. I won't drive on Shabbat, I'll only smoke a cigarette on Shabbat. I won't smoke a whole pack on Shabbat, I'll only smoke 2 cigarettes on Shabbat. Now, even though as leaders, as people that know a little bit of Torah, we are always trying to encourage people to make less sins, that by itself is not going to get you to heaven. Don't be fooled. Whether you smoke 100 cigarettes on Shabbat or 1 cigarette, it's still fire on Shabbat. Whether you drive your car 3 miles or 3,000 miles on Shabbat, it's still driving on Shabbat. It's still fire on Shabbat. Just one is more than the other. What is it like if somebody told you, I want some advice. I want to slow down in my career. Well, what do? You're going to ask him. He says, I work for the mob. Oh, what do you do for the mob? You do accounting? You cook the books? No, I don't do accounting. What do you do? I cook people. I cook people. What do you mean you cook people? He says, oh, what? I have a job. Every month, I have a metric to reach. What's the metric? I have to kill 10 people a month. 25,000 a person, 10 people, it's good living, no? But I want to slow down because I feel bad. I feel bad, I want to comply with Hashem's rules. Oh, so what are you going to stop? No, I can't stop. I mean, it's 10 people a month, it's a lot of money. So what I'm going to do, I'm only going to kill 1 person a month. I'm only going to kill 1 person a month. Is that person still a murderer or he's a nice guy? Because he's killing 9 less people. Everybody agrees he's still a murderer? Why? Because he's still killing somebody, right? Whether he kills 1 or he kills 10, he's still killing. And Torah says in the 10 Commandments, don't kill anybody, right? Don't murder. So you see, Rabotai, Torah also says in the same 10 Commandments, before do not murder, it says don't drive on Shabbat. It says don't use your computer on Shabbat. It says don't smoke cigarettes on Shabbat. It also says that. Which means that even if you smoke only 1 cigarette on Shabbat, or only drive down the block on Shabbat, it's still driving. So yes, it's less, and hopefully it eventually gets to 0. But don't think that simply making less sins is going to make the sins you make okay. It's never okay. We have to train ourselves and work on ourselves to stop. Stop being murderers of ourselves, of our own neshama. Which means that if a person is not ready to have the highest level of fear of Hashem, at least he should do something to get himself there. If somebody wants to get himself into better shape, they're going to work out. And they know they can't work out a week and become a bodybuilder. It's going to take time. So what are they going to do? They're going to start small. They're going to start with 5-pound weights, and hopefully later on 10 pounds, and hopefully later on 25 pounds, and maybe down the road 100 pounds, and so on and so forth. So a guy that doesn't have a lot of Yirat Shamayim and is not ready to keep all of the mitzvot, he knows what's true. He's just not ready to accept all of it because he has a lot of desires. You know what? If you can wear a kippah, wear it. Why? Because that at least reminds you of where you need to go. Where you need to go. Whether you make a sin with a kippah or without a kippah, doesn't make a difference. Don't let anybody fool you. Say, no, if I make a sin with a kippah on, it's much worse. Complete nonsense. If 10 Jews see you sin, Gemara Masechet Avodah Zarah says it's considered a chilul Hashem, with or without the kippah. In fact, even if 10 Jews don't see you, but they know you drive on Shabbat, it's still considered a public sin. It's still considered chilul Hashem. Last but not least, if you yourself have decided, I'm going to sin, not that you're publicizing to the rest of the world, you just decide, this mitzvah, this Shabbat, is not for me. It's also chilul Hashem, with or without the kippah. So at least, with the kippah, it's like a reminder. You know, like sometimes you use Post-its, you put them on the fridge, you put them on the desk to remind yourself of stuff. A kippah is to remind yourself of stuff. To remind yourself that God runs the world. Same thing for ladies. If you're married, you have kisui rosh. Aside from it being a mitzvah to cover your hair for modesty, it's also a reminder for you that Hashem runs the world. Same thing with a wardrobe. You have a wardrobe and you see your wardrobe looks different than everybody else's. Why? Because it covers your whole body. You didn't buy only half the dress, you bought the whole dress. Same price, by the way. But that's a reminder. What's a reminder? It's a reminder that Kadosh Baruch Hu is watching you. Even though you can't do the whole Torah overnight. You're not Tzara Imenu overnight, but the clothes remind you that Hashem is watching you. And if Hashem is watching you, how can you walk around half naked? If Hashem is watching you, how can you continue stealing? If Hashem is watching you, how can you continue cursing and yelling and being unethical? How? How can you do it? At least not on a regular basis. Once in a while we fall. Everybody falls. But we can't make it our day-to-day behavior.
B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzliach, we're very excited to offer you the new Be'ezrat Hashem app 3.0. It's a newer, faster app full of Torah, lots of Kedusha by the shiurim that we do, myself, Rabbi Ephraim, Rav Chaim, where you'll have also newer features where you're able to use the app while you're using other applications on your phone. You'll be able to share the lectures directly from the app. You'll be able to donate online and support our Kiruv and our Torah work that we're doing. And the most exciting feature is that you'll be able to actually ask questions directly on the app and get answers from the rabbis directly from the app. This is something unprecedented, and Baruch Hashem will be able to offer it. Thank you again for all of your support. Check it out. Make sure you have the kosher Torah that will re-energize your neshama each and every single day. Kol tu b'chava tzlacha.